I'm not sure Jeff is going to be here today, but I'll go ahead and make a brief update. Just from a status standpoint, I'm able to get GPS sentences into my tractor, and it's publishing the fix statement, which is good. That I ended up using the ROS version of the NMEA NavSat driver. The previous one that had been updated a bit, couldn't get that to work. I was getting at the beginning just a generic driver failed statement, and it made reference to the logs. I went through all of the logs and couldn't seem to find out what was going on. I had a suspicion it had to do with a Python 3 issue, but was never able to confirm or deny that. But anyway, I've got the generic version, at least on the surface, working. That took a little bit of doing too. Had some cat can make errors. Specifically, this needed to be installed. After that, I had issues around an import serial statement not working. Again, I suspect it has to do with Python 3, but was able to fix that with installing the Python 3 serial. Then a permissions issue on the port itself, was able to get that resolved by adding my user ID tractor to the dial out group. At least that's what I think the fix was. And then was able to launch that launch file, but was not able to do that with without using the whole path name. And before you ask, yes, the bash RC contains those two statements, which is the only reason I could think of that I would get this error that it's not a launch file. So it was just some of the error messages that I received, and then ultimately was able to display the various sentences as they came across. Before I talk about Odom, let me share. These are the ROS Agriculture driver.py script. And this is the ROS version of the same script. What you'll see is there may be other changes. These are this was the primary one that I could find. If there's a fix, then this is the same until about there, and then this else if GST shows up here. So this information is new or added to the ROS Agriculture version, and seems to be about working with quaternions and publishing this current heading, although that current heading does get published here, but it's not in, it's just pulled. This is pulled up for some reason. I don't exactly remember why Matt may have done that. So anyway, that's one of the material differences between the ROS version and the ROS Agriculture version. There's also an uncommitted change having to do with this status that I looked at briefly. This GBAS has to do with ground-based augmented status, and SBAS has to do with satellite-based augmented status. So for some reason, Matt thought, well, again, not committed. At one point in time was thinking that needed to be changed. So I am getting a status of 2 on my ROS topic echo output, which I believe is an RTK fix because I've turned on my base station, as you would no doubt guess. On Odom, remember I'm working with a new laptop, so I have to sort of start from scratch from something. So I've set up UDEV rules for my left and right Odom boards. I've got data coming from my left Odom teensy. My right is not giving me data for some reason, so that's the status that I've got to unpick. And this is what my UDEV rules are looking like at the moment. I'm just using the physical position on the USB board, and at the moment seems to be fine. And you might say, why is that one different? It's what was output. So we'll see if that has anything to do with the issues. So my next step at the moment is let's see, there's differences, determine if I need them, connect the Odom for the rear wheels, install what I refer to as Jeff's simulator on the tractor laptop. This is, I go back to my notes. Jeff had provided a separate Catkin workspace back when he was working on the simulator, and these are some instructions on how to download that and install some other requirements, and then change the execution, and then launch the vehicle and drive it around. Anyway, that's where I'm at the moment.